I'm Jordan Rayner, and this is the Word Before Work. Today we're starting a new 5-week series here on the Word Before Work called James on Work. Novel title, I know. Let's begin by reading in James chapter 1, verses 5 through 8 together. Here's what it says. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. Today, we begin in chapter 1 of James with the focus on James's call for us to ask God for wisdom. In verse 5, James writes, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Now, James leaves it open-ended as to what specifically we are called to ask for wisdom about, leaving us to assume that he's inviting us to ask the Lord for wisdom about anything, including the seemingly big and small things related to the work you and I do today. Oftentimes, I'm afraid we expect far too little from God, welcoming his wisdom as we seek to make major life choices, such as where to move or who to marry, but failing to ask for his wisdom in the more routine matters of life and work, such as when we can't see how we're going to meet a deadline at work, or we're trying to discern product market fit, or when we're trying to navigate a relationship with a difficult person that we work with. James is inviting us to ask God for wisdom in all of these things and so many more. Why does James place such a strong emphasis on asking God for wisdom? Well, most practically, as James chapter 1 makes clear, God is the giver of all wisdom and every good and perfect gift. God is the source of all true wisdom, so we would be fools not to ask him for wisdom as we work. But there's a second reason we are called to explicitly ask God for wisdom. Asking for wisdom is one way in which we recognize that God is God and we are not, and thus demonstrate our reliance on him. As busy professionals, it can be easy to forget that it is God, not us, who produces results through our work. Regularly asking for his wisdom as we go about our work reminds us that it is God alone that gives us the wisdom to do that work well. The Christian life is a matter of trusting God to provide all things, including salvation and wisdom as we work. Take a moment to humbly ask God for wisdom for the specific things regarding the work you have to do today. Today's devotional only scratches the surface of how God's word connects to our work. If you want to go deeper, sign up for my free 20-day devotional called The Word Before Work Foundations at twbwfoundations.com. These email devotionals are designed to help you gain a rich understanding of the biblical narrative of work, how exactly your work matters for eternity, and how those truths influence how we should work today. Sign up for free right now at twbwfoundations.com.